question is from L.A. Penman. What are your thoughts on SARMS?
SARMS, we're
Just keeps coming up.
Yeah, we get a lot of questions on this, and more so recently. Recently, we've seen a lot of these SARM questions, and I think it's because these gray market companies, these gray market pharmaceutical companies are making pushes now with advertising, and you're hearing podcasters and body, hackers and biohackers that using SARMs are great or whatever. So let me give you a little rundown first of what SARMs are, and then we can talk about whether or not they're even worth messing with. So SARM stands for Selective Androgen Receptor Modulator. So SARMs are like a selective estrogen receptor modulators, are what we've had for a long time, like Novadex. This is a drug that is prescribed to women after having breast cancer or certain types of breast cancers to block the estrogen receptor and potentially reduce the risk of estrogen-sensitive cancers from running out of control or whatever. And so what they did with SARMs, which attached to the androgen receptor, the goal was to develop drugs that will attach to the androgen receptor, get it to express its anabolic qualities, muscle-building, pro-tissue qualities, and get it to not express any of its androgenic qualities. And the androgenic qualities are the masculinizing effects that these receptors can produce, like deepening of the voice, aggression, male pattern baldness, those types of things. And so the thing is, okay, we know that giving people testosterone, for example, when they have cancer or HIV or other types of illness can help many times because it prevents muscle wasting or muscle loss. We also know that as people age, they start to lose muscle and bone. And so they're like, okay, we could give them testosterone, but testosterone has its own side effects. What if we developed a drug that provided the benefits of testosterone minus all of the side effects? And so that was the goal with SARMs. And so they developed these chemicals. Now here's the thing with SARMs. They are nowhere near being approved. They're in, most of them are in first phase trials. We don't know 100% what the side effects are, how they work in the body, but because they're not listed or scheduled as a schedule drug like testosterone is, there's this gray area where they can sell them online, sell them as research chemicals, and you can buy them and then just take them yourself. So because you can buy them online, they've become the next, hey, take this cool thing, it works like steroids.
Somehow people think that that's a safer option because it's not like scheduled.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't mess with these at all.
Now, I didn't realize that they're that similar to like Novadex, and
they're similar in the sense that they're designed to attach to a receptor, but Novadex attaches to the estrogen receptor. This attaches to the androgen receptor.
So what makes you think that it's not going to end up being as good or as effective as a drug like Novadex and as safe?
Novadex's goal is to block the estrogen receptor, not to activate it.
Right.
It's basically designed to park itself in that receptor and block it so that estrogen can't do anything to it. Now, we know Novadex has been around long enough to know that you take Novadex and it still will cause some estrogenic side effects. Not like estrogen, but much weaker. These drugs are designed to activate the androgen receptor. It's also a different receptor, and it's also a different drug. So just because it's a androgen receptor modulator doesn't mean that it's anything like Novadex at all.
Okay.
'Cause, for example, I could create an opiate that's still in the class of opiates, but it would kill you versus other opiates which you can take, like Vicodin or whatever.
Right.
So I can make a cannabinoid. In fact, they've done this with cannabinoids. Some companies have tried to make synthetic cannabinoids that will, skirt around the law and get you high. And those cannabinoids, some of them have caused people to go crazy. Some of them have killed people.
Horrible results with those.
Right. So just because it's in the same, it attaches to the same receptor or it's in the same kind of class or category, doesn't make it safe whatsoever. It could have very, very dangerous effects potentially. So with SARMs, we don't know. We don't fucking know what they do. We have a lot of anecdote. And then the people are using them are using doses that are not being used in the studies. And some of these studies are coming back and showing potential liver cancer, potential issues with the kidneys, And animal studies. A lot of these are animal studies. We don't even know what they do to humans. So this is an area I wouldn't fuck with. I wouldn't mess with this area. I mean, if you want to take a drug that attaches to your androgen receptor to give you steroid-like effects, take steroids. And I'm not saying that lightly. Anabolic steroids have been around for a long time, and we know what they do and what they don't do. With SARMs, we don't know. There was a study that came out recently that analyzed 44 online products. Here's another reason why I wouldn't mess with them. 44 online products that advertised saying that they had SARMs. So let's see what they actually have in them. Half of them contained an actual SARM. So the other half had who knows.
Yeah, what was in it?
10% contained nothing at all. 10% were just oil or whatever. Yeah. 40%, so almost half, had other hormones and unapproved drugs. So almost half of them contained maybe hormones or things that you're not even trying to take. Yeah. And you're like, oh, this really works. Well, yeah, because it contains D-ball.
So I was going to say, so it sounds like real similar to like
pro-hormone thing.
The good old supplement hustle, which is because it's gray market, because it's not regulated, you have and you can market and create whatever SARM you want. Pixie dust, like real hormones and shit in there so people actually feel
hooked.
Yeah, because they feel it or see a difference and then sell the shit out of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen to this one. They found several of them. This is from the same study. Several contained a drug that was abandoned by GlaxoSmithKline a decade ago after it was found to cause cancer in animals.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And this is what a lot of these companies will do is these are these research chemical companies. What they do is they'll go through the discarded drugs that these pharma companies tried to get approved or did testing and then discarded them because they found out like, oh, this one causes heart disease.
Right.
This one causes liver cancer. This one. They'll find those discarded ones. They'll create those ones because they do have effects, but they also have crazy side effects. And then they'll sell them. And because they're not listed as banned substances, technically, as long as they say it's not for human consumption, because this is what will happen. You'll go on these websites to buy SARMs, and you'll see it says not for human consumption. They're doing that to cover their asses. Mm-hmm. No, you're playing. This is literally Russian roulette, literally, with SARMs. And here's the other thing with SARMs. I know a lot of people who've taken real SARMs. And do they build muscle? A little bit. It ain't close to anabolic steroids. I know lots of guys who've taken both anabolics and SARMs and like, it doesn't do a whole lot. Like anabolics are way more effective. Oh, and then another reason that they sell them or why people take them is they think that SARMs don't shut down testosterone. So they say, oh, you can take a SARM and it won't shut down your testosterone like taking anabolic steroids do. Not true.
Not the doses that they're measuring.
Well, even at the low doses, blocking the androgen receptor still sends a signal to the brain that says, hey, or attaching to the androgen receptor tells the brain, hey, we've got too much testosterone. Let's lower production. So it's just, I don't see any benefit from these other than if some of them get approved and show that there's some safety. I could see maybe SARMs being prescribed to women to help with osteopenia or muscle, because testosterone obviously has, masculinizing effects on women. But no, I wouldn't mess with these at all. And I get really irritated that there's people in our space that promote them because they try to promote the latest and greatest cool chemical. But no, don't fuck with them.
I agree.